Hi, everybody. So, today I have a special guest. This is Julia Haverstock. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God, I said something right. And she's one of our wonderful librarians here. You should go, you should go see her. Actually, you might be after this. Teehee. Anyway, so what we're recording here today is we're going to be talking about how to find scientific papers and then how to kind of read scientific papers, because that's what we're going to be doing in the coming weeks. I'm going to be first finding a paper we're all going to look at, we're all going to pick apart, and then afterwards I'm going to have you guys find your own papers that you might be interested in. Because the reason I find this important is, even if you're not going off into science any deeper than this, research is honestly one of the most important things you could ever do for any job you're going to be going into in the future. It doesn't matter if it's science, is if you can find the information pertinent to what you're going to be doing in your careers in the future, or even just for funsies, if you're nerdy like us.
Or if you just want to know something.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Finding information is important.
Finding information is honestly one of the most important skills you can possibly have, especially in this day and age where you can run into almost anything on the internet. And yeah, it's like that one Geico commercial.
I don't know that one.
You know, the one that where he's like, yeah, I'm a model in Paris, and it's just this fat guy with a fanny pack, and like, and she's like, no, he said he was a model in Paris.
Oh yeah. It's good to verify your
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll try to find that and stick that in here right now when I edit the video.
Hey, Mike, what are you up to?
Just diagramming this accident with my State Farm Pocket Agent app. You can also get a quote and pay your premium with this thing.
I thought State Farm didn't have all those apps.
Where'd you hear that?
The internet.
And you believed it?
Yeah, they can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
Where'd you hear that? The internet.
Oh, look, here comes my date. I met him on the internet. He's a French model.
Bonjour.
Commercial. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be Julia's here is going to help us find the information using Blue Ridge's website and going through and finding it, so that way you know where to find it, because Blue Ridge is really nice in the fact that we actually have links directly to the search engines you need to use, because you can't just Google it. Google's great for broad things, for broad strokes, but when you want to really like get into like, you know, find things like, you know, engineering or biology or any of that stuff, you need to go to certain search engines just for scientific papers, or, you know, engineering papers, or I was just pulling engineering out my rear end because it's what came to my tiny brain. So anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to share the screen somewhere out there. So there we go. Okay, so you should be seeing Blue Ridge's homepage right now, and I just want to give you, like, back in my day, we had to actually go to the freaking stinking library and dig through this stuff. And then there was this wonderful thing where you actually had to send away for papers, wait for several days, and then realize you didn't get the paper. You got the paper you wanted, but read it and then you go, that's not what I needed.
It's true.
It's true.
Back in the olden times.
Back in the olden times when dinosaurs roamed the earth and everything was made of rocks.
Yep, you had to touch the books.
You had to touch the books. And sometimes that was its own headache. Or then you'd find hobos in the library.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that was some strange days, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so be thankful. It's so much easier.
It's true.
So I'll let Julia come over here and take the reins to show you where to go.
Awesome. So from the library web page, the school web page, you'll go to services and support, and then you'll click library and open lab. Boop, boop.
There we go.
And then from here, this is the library webpage. And primarily today, I'm going to be teaching from the LibGuide, which I will show you how to get to. But anytime that you come to the library, This search box right here is called the discovery search, and it's also a really great place to start your search for scientific journal articles. So if you don't want to start from the LibGuide, this is where you will go. Now that said, let's navigate to the LibGuide. Turns out you scroll down to this box that says LibGuides. Click it, and then they are organized in alphabetical order, and turns out the LibGuide for biology is titled Biology and Life Sciences. So
Wild.
click that. So this is a LibGuide that is created. It's a website. A LibGuide is just a website, but it's also kind of a research guide. And here you will find a place to search. So this searches the same thing as what's on the main page of the library, but it's conveniently located on the website, on the LibGuide for your class that's designed for biology class. Then we'll talk a little bit about this journal help page, which will give you more information about how to figure out what you're looking at. And that's it. So the main thing I wanted to talk to you all about, a couple things. One is how to search using keywords. And Lauren will supply me with some keywords in a second, and then we'll talk about that. Actually, what should we look up today? So you all are going to be looking for scientific journal articles, and it will help you if you kind of have maybe a list of some vocabulary in mind to search with. So if you wanted to, I mean, you're not going to be able to just enter the word biology article and
Oh yeah, they'll pull
figure
up
out
everything on God's green earth.
right. That's too broad. You're going to want to choose a topic that you've talked about in class, maybe, or something that you're interested in from outside interests, and you're going to want to be pretty specific to find a journal article about a topic, a very specific topic.
How about we do our friend the bacteriophage?
Okay, let's do bacteriophage. So when you're first starting to look, A-P-H-O, okay, first of all, you have to spell the word correctly.
That's half the battle.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Which, no shame, it's, you know, to look it up. Bacteriophage.
Yep.
So we're going to just search one word to begin with. And so you'll get your list. You see there are 37,971 results. You're probably not going to want to look at all of those. You probably should be able to find something that is relevant that you will use for your class in the first page or two of results, of search results. And now we're going to talk a little bit about how to find the best results. So for the purposes of this assignment, you are going to want to find a full text academic journal article. And the good news is you can choose some of these limiters on the left side of the page to help you narrow down your sources. So in this list, there's going to be newspaper articles, there's going to be reports, there's going to be, I don't know, random things, book reviews. There may also be ebooks. But what you want to do is go over to the left side, click the full text box just to be sure. Oh, look. Again, back in the olden times, you would not always have full text access. You get really excited about a title and an abstract, and then you would click on it and it would not be the whole article. And then you would cuss and you would have to like do that thing that Lauren was talking about where you would send off for your article.
Yeah,
But today, in these new age times, you have access to all of the things, which is super handy. The other thing you will want to click over here is journal article. As you see, there are newspaper articles, papers, book chapters, and books. And that's all like valid information, but for the purposes of this assignment, you want a journal article. That still gets us 33,000 results. We're also going to limit it by publication date. Lauren, do you want to say anything about why that's important?
Okay, yeah, because I fell into this trap years ago myself, and that is when I was doing research once for trying to figure out the best way to figure out how to do population math on northern flying squirrels. I was looking up articles on how to do populations stuff, and I found something from the 70s.
Oh, wow.
I showed it. It was the only thing I could find that was explaining some of it. So I brought it to my professor and he said, Lauren, how about you try finding something not from the 70s? Here's some key terms to search for.
Did you know that I think the largest population of rodent in North America is not the squirrel. It is like the sugar glider or I think the flying squirrel, which is exciting because they're so cute, but they're nocturnal, so we never see them.
Yeah, we also are lucky, and this is random asides here, guys, but that's okay. You're used to it by now. We're also weird because our mountains have the only northern flying squirrels
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
south.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're leftovers from the glaciers coming down.
Oh,
They
that's
just
very cool.
got stuck in the mountains going, okay.
Biology nerd fact.
I know, nerdness. But anyway, getting back to the point
Yes.
was basically, yeah, I'd looked something up and it was from years ago, and you can't use that because it's outdated information. Guys, you know how fast information moves these days. I mean, just last week we were talking about UFO balloons, and now we're on train wrecks. It moves fast.
Mhm.
So same thing with science. You want to keep it relevant, and you want to keep it hopefully within the last 3 years. Because if you go anything past 10 years, you're going to be looking at stuff that we've already either ripped apart, debunked, or just dropped completely because it was like, okay, that's nice. Moving on.
So luckily you can just click a button and narrow all of your search results to 3 or 5 years. I'm going to do 3 just for fun, and we'll see how many articles. So you'll notice that this number at the top is getting smaller and smaller because we're making our search more and more specific. So now we've narrowed our sources and we're looking at 4,000 results. Clearly we're not still going to look at 4,000, but they will be more relevant to what you're looking for. So you'll see all of them say journal article. When you want to access the full text of the article, you click that button. So let me look through and see. You stop me, Lauren, if
That second one looks really good because we were talking about how we were using bacteriophages to kill off bacteria like MRSA that was infecting somebody but wasn't responding to traditional antibiotics. And that looks like
Cool.
that standardized bacteriophage purification for personal phage therapy. That sounds kind of up our alley.
All right, so we're going to click on it.
See if it is up our alley, because sometimes it can be deceiving.
Okay, so this is the part where we're going to kind of talk briefly about how to read an article to make sure that the article that you have chosen is something, the kind of article that Lauren is looking for, and the kind of article that we're asking you to read. You're going to want to look to see if it's a journal article, that it's a study. And one of the ways to kind of figure that out is kind of a broad thing, but it still works. So if it has an abstract, which this does, that's a key. And then it will have sections like introduction and methods, and then conclusion at the end. And there will likely be charts and graphs. So far I see charts and graphs. I see an introduction, and I'm seeing some sort of methodology, which is where they tell you how they're doing the experiments or collecting the data. But let's keep looking. I think this is maybe a more informative thing, but
Yeah.
than a study. So this is kind of like a how people do this whole isolation thing.
Yeah. Now it's going into equipment. That's interesting.
So this may not be,
This may not be what we're looking for. Yeah, here's
Right.
the procedure. Oh, wow. This is, a whole step-by-step guide on how to do this.
so,
Interesting.
you can read this on your personal time
Yeah, if you're really thrilled with it, but anyway.
if you want to be a labby person. So we're going to skip this one. This is not it.
We already hit
Oh.
references. That's why. Yeah, when you hit references, you've hit the end. And we haven't seen, and again, it says reporting summary. It's a freaking sentence.
Right. And
Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. We usually look like Julia said, we need an abstract, an intro, the whole study itself that will be absolute gobbledygook to you. And then you want a nice conclusion and summary that really that's the meat of it.
okay, so we're going to go back and maybe look at a different one. And if we can't find one, it's not always a perfect
No.
smooth process. The dorky metaphor that I use is that research is a lot like a treasure hunt. And sometimes you have to dig a lot of holes that don't have anything in it before you find the treasure. And that's true. And so you just kind of have to keep trying. Let's see. That one looks very complicated.
Yeah, if it, and this is something I always like to tell a lot of my students, if it looks like you can't read it because it's like, blah, 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 Don't worry, skip it. It's okay. It's okay to sit there and say, that's all gobbledygook to me. That's part of the process of filtering this out.
Clinical microbiology reviews, that seems like not
Yeah.
quite. All right. Developments and directions, that sounds like it's gonna be like a report about what people are doing. Ooh, what about
Which-
that?
Ooh, okay. Safety, bacteriophages. Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, this hopefully is the right thing, and then we'll move along even if it's not the right thing, and I'll show you.
Yeah, again, this is just part of the process of looking for a decent article that actually makes sense.
In this single arm, non-comparative trial. Okay, good. So this, even just in the first few words of the abstract, it's telling you that it's a trial, which is like an experiment, a kind of experiment. And look, results,
Yay, results.
and then graphs,
Yay, graphs.
more graphs,
Charts.
more charts, methods.
Methods.
Okay, so this is it. This is a study.
Yay, we found one.
Yay.
Like I said, sometimes you can find one right off the bat. Sometimes you gotta go dig.
And references.
References, which sometimes leads you down a nice rabbit hole too.
Right. So this looks great. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that you'll need to know. And then I'm going to show you the journal page, and then my part is going to be done. So one thing that is helpful when you are trying to get back to this particular article, you will want to, let's see if they have it on here. Nope. Back on the results page. Where did that go? Here. When you want to get back to a specific article, you don't copy the URL that's up here in the URL box. That will just get you back to a search box page. You need to make sure that you're copying the permalink right here. And that is what you will put in your course module, your discussion page, if that's how you're sharing. That's what you would email to Lauren, and that's what you would use if you were writing a citation to record the fact that you accessed this article and used it for research. So permalinks are important. I also recommend you could email this article to yourself so that you always know how to get back to it. Then it's just like in your email, and you can click the link that's in your email, and it's super easy to get back to it. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you was, if you forget what Lauren talks about or what I have talked about in terms of how to read an article, hopefully this gets us back, yay. Then this tab right here, Journal Help, well, has a lot of words. It's a lot of text, which is kind of annoying, but I didn't write it. So this gives you information about how to determine if an article is scholarly. And it talks about kind of what we've already talked about. It talks about what a scholarly journal is. And then right here, this section, what to look for, is where you want to go if you're confused about whether an article is acceptable or not to use for this project. So it says scholarly journal articles often have an abstract, a descriptive summary of the article contents before the main text. They have, it's funny the way they describe it. Scholarly journal articles generally have a sober, serious look. They often contain charts and graphs. We talked about
Now
that.
I want to see a drunk article.
They always cite their sources. Yes, so that references thing that we talked about. And they're written by a scholar in the field, so usually a scientist or a doctor or something like that. And they're written for an academic audience. So it's not going to sound like an article in People magazine. It's not going to sound even like an article in Time magazine or an article in the newspaper. So it'll sound different, and you'll know that it's a scholarly journal article. And so let's see. Oh, one more thing that I want to show you. If you run into problems and you're having a hard time finding an article, and let's say it's Sunday night at midnight and you're doing this at the last minute.
Because I know some of you do.
No, they would never do that.
I know. What am I saying? Crazy.
So at the back at the main library page, if you scroll all the way to most of the way to the bottom, this yellow rectangle right here is our library chat, and it's available 24/7. So if you're looking for an article on Sunday at midnight and you're struggling to understand whether it's a scholarly journal or not, you can click on this and you can type to a librarian. And theoretically, they will answer you back. Right now, usually during the day, it's me staffing the chat or it's the library director. And I'm not sure if it's me that's logged in right now or him. So nobody may answer us right now, but 24/7. So when I'm not here, it's staffed by a group of librarians that works around the country and can also help you find that information. So important things are where to search. I'm going to just close it.
Yep, that's fine.
Where to search. So you can search here for bacteriophage or whatever it is that your topic is. You can search here. And then the other important bits are limiting to full text, journal article, publication date, and then understanding how to find a permalink. And if you do all of those things and you have found the study, then you should be good to go.
Yep, you should be fine.
That's it.
Research is half the battle.
It's the most fun part.
Yeah, actually, kind of is, because sometimes I found some things like that's so weird.
It's true.
Like, I didn't know mummification was considered evil. And I did a whole study on mummification,
Ooh.
and including one of them, I didn't know it was considered a bad omen
Oh.
in Asian
Oh,
countries.
huh.
So if they found a mummy, they
Oh.
would destroy it,
oh, yeah.
even a natural one, because
Mhm.
they find it's a bad omen that the body has not passed on.
Oh, yeah. It has something to do with religious beliefs and cultural beliefs. as
Yeah,
well.
it's really
Like-
interesting. So yeah, so that's why
Cool.
we don't hear about a lot of mummies out of the Asian countries.
That's cool.
Because if one naturally spontaneously happened,
Interdisciplinary knowledge.
yeah, exactly. So that was something I was just, like I said, it's also how I learned a whole bunch of weird DNA facts from the NASA twin studies.
Oh, cool. Oh, I just read one about it. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. See, we're nerds. We'll talk about these
Yeah.
things ad nauseum. So anyway,
Thanks.
but thank you so much, Julia.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. So, yep, we'll go ahead, and in a bit, I will record another video in which we will sit there and actually read this article and actually have a fun time going over it. And then I will tell you what I expect us to do for an assignment with you guys. So,
Have
Well-
fun.
so we'll be right back after these messages. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right.